Arey yaar, why did I say yes? Have you ever said those words to yourself? Maybe it was just 5 minutes ago. Maybe it was yesterday when your manager said, "ये भी कर देना," and you said, "Sure, sir." Or maybe your friend asked you for a favor and you didn't have time that time. But in that split second, your brain was screaming no. But your mouth? It had a mind of its own. It said, "Yes, of course." And then comes the weight, that heavy, sinking feeling in your chest. You're so irritated, not only for them, not only with them, because they asked you for something. You are more irritated at yourself because you did not have the courage, have the strength to say that one simple two-letter word, N-O, no. Today we are diving deep into the psychology of the yes trap. We're going to talk about why smart, capable people like you end up over explaining, over committing until you're drowning in mental debt. I'm going to show you why saying no isn't actually about being mean, it's about being clear. I train clarity in communication. I'll also share a very specific method to help you protect your time without the guilt. I used to have the biggest trouble saying no. And today, I teach how to say no. By the end of this episode, you'll know how to stop the explanation loop and start commanding the respect that your time deserves. Let's get into it. I was in Mumbai recently for a team training session. At the end, I asked the room if they had any questions. A very typical statement that I have. There was that typical awkward pause. Everyone's checking their phone or checking the room. Suddenly, a woman, I'm going to call her Priya today, she raised her hand. She didn't give me a long backstory. She just looked at me and asked, "Sarika, why is it so hard to say no?" And with that question, the whole room went still. Everybody who was busy checking their phone and suddenly started nodding because it hit the nerve. It hit them right in the gut. I asked Priya what happened. She told me about her manager asking for extra work when she was already stretched thin. She knew she couldn't say yes, but she did it anyway. And then she spent the rest of the day feeling miserable and irritated. So she said, "Why is it so hard to say no? Why do we do this? Why don't we say no when we don't have that space in our calendar?" We say yes because we are trying to manage how people see us. We want to be seen as the reliable one, the helpful one, the easy to work one. We are the people pleaser. But look at the irony. When you say yes to everything, and then you can't deliver it perfectly because obviously you're too stretched, you're overwhelmed. Suddenly, when you've said yes and you don't deliver it perfectly, you don't look reliable, you look inconsistent. Think of your energy like a bank account. Now, every yes is a withdrawal, right? You keep taking money out of that account every time you say a yes. If you don't check your balance before you spend, you get into a mental debt. You get stressed, you miss deadlines, and eventually you start resenting everyone around you. I see this all the time, especially with founders and leaders. I worked with a founder named Sneha. She was brilliant. She was saying yes to every single request from her investors. More decks, more calls, more data, because she wanted to be easy to work with. Instead, she was exhausted. Her focus was totally diluted. Only once she started being clear about her limits, the investors actually respected her more. If you want to start making this shift, come find me on Instagram at Communicate101. I post a lot of these real world scenarios, but usually in the stories. So if you follow me, you can see my stories. The reason we struggle saying no isn't a lack of vocabulary. We need that internal permission for the issue. You don't feel okay saying it. You think no is harsh. So you think you want to soften it. You say things like, I'll try. Let me see. When you say that, the other person hears it as a yes because you did not say no. If you did not say no, everything else is a yes. I'm going to share a method which, if you follow, will make sure you communicate the no in the right manner. Right here in the next leg. Now, because this is an audio podcast, I want you to do one exercise with me right here. This is what I call the no guilt mirror drill. Imagine someone is asking you to join for a quick 2-minute review. And you know, मेरा तो focus खराब हो जाएगा. It will ruin my focus for today. I know his 2 minutes are not 2 minutes. How do you handle it? Your first step is to notice the urge to over-explain. You are wanting to say something to him. Stop. Don't say that. Take a breath. Anchor yourself in the fact that your time is valuable. So pause, take a breath. Now say out aloud with me right now. Right now. I understand that the meeting is coming up, but given my current deadlines, I won't be able to join today. Someone asked you to join a quick 2-minute review. You paused, you took a breath, you said one straight line. Repeat after me. I understand that meeting is coming up, but given my current deadlines, I won't be able to join today. Does it feel heavy? It feels heavy. Means it's just the niceness leaving your system. If you do this once a day, just recording yourself on for 30 seconds, you start building muscle memory. A muscle memory to be able to say no. I've spent 25 years training people on exactly this type of clarity. Saying no does not mean that you are bad. It doesn't talk about your niceness leaving the room. It is actually doing you good because people start valuing your time when you start valuing your time. I'm sharing lots of this in my new course, How to Become the Most Confident Version of Yourself. We don't do fluff, we do real exercise on how to speak, how to set boundaries, how to stand, how to make sure people take you seriously. I talk about decision fatigue. Every time you say yes to something that you don't want to do, you use up the mental energy you need for your actual work. So start getting clarity into your system, because it's not just a communication tool, it's a performance tool. The most important thing I want you to remember today is that people don't trust you because you always say yes. They trust you because when you say yes, it actually means a yes. If you want to dive deeper into the mechanics of this, I actually did a full episode specifically on how to say no. And you can just scroll down in the episodes of this podcast and I'm sure you'll find it. If you don't, you send me an email at info@sarikasingh.in and I'll send you the link. When you say no clearly, you create trust immediately. You're telling the other person that you respect them enough not to give them a stressed out version of your work. So the next time you feel, arey yaar, moment coming on, pause yourself. Do I actually have space for this? If your answer is no, then just say it. Start by practicing that every day. Start saying no to simple things. It'll become easier for you to start saying no to bigger things that will actually impact your work, your personal life, your professional life, without the guilt. This is Communicate 101, where we take the complexity out of your daily conversations. Make sure you tune into the next podcast episode. We are going to talk about the one word that can instantly make any conversation better. It's a word that shifts the power dynamic in a room the second you use it. Until then, stay clear, stay steady, and a little secret. When I put my professional face on my reels, my absolute best, most unfiltered communication hacks are shared on my Insta stories. Not on my reels. But also they disappear in 24 hours and you can see them only if you're following me. So head over to Communicate 101 on Insta, hit follow before you miss the good stuff. See you there. Thank you for listening to this episode of Communicate 101 Speaking Writing Tips with Sarika Singh. If you want to be notified of upcoming episodes, be sure to hit the subscribe button and follow the podcast. I'll be back to share more stories, more life experiences, and more communication tips every Friday. If you want to reach me or connect with me, just put your comments in the comment box below or mail me at info@sarikasingh.in. I know you're going to rate and review this podcast, so a big thank you in advance. Stay tuned and think about what we talked today.